first and foremost, don't believe what I say, and what and research on. So what I mean by that, well, before I do this content, because I seen a common thread and I wanted to get it out there. My inherent belief is very different from what it was before because I do a lot of research and I interview, of course, and I read a lot and I would watch tons of content. So here's the thing. Most often not, we believe things that aren't true, but it's very detrimental to our well-being, and it does a disservice. It's just like people who talk about the law of attraction, but they don't want to tell about the truth about the law of attraction because they want be all magical and the feeling good stuff. But like that's not taking grounded in understanding that yes, there is a spiritual laws of the universe, right? That which we can control by harnessing our energy. But the thing is, there's the other side, dark side of the law of attraction, where people don't use it to their advantage, and they would throw it or tell, oh, they don't. They're so in turn, when you listen to this video content or anybody content, do your own research before um, it come out of their mouth. Right when you listen to someone and they talk about a certain subject, make sure, like, because for me, this video can have an impact the way you think about things and how you see the world. Because oftentimes, whenever my best friend says something that I read, it kind of have an impact me of not reading that book. Because I interviewed this amazing lady who do her research on or her work around Egypt. And I remember I was in the car with him, and I was talking about would be Egypt, but I wouldn't know that topic. But I was reading it, and he's like, "No, no, no, it's not." So I stopped reading her book. But then I wanted to interview her, so I read her book, and her book was amazing, right? So oftentimes we listen to people who, whether your friends or family, your friends has the most influence of them all. Your friends influence your lens, your perception, your world around you, and how you behave. You start to become like them. So their opinions could affect how you think and how you feel. Oftentimes, let's say a mentor that you look up to, but they don't have much of knowledge or anything, but there's stuff that coming out of their mouth and they don't know, and it will affect you in return. And you say that. That's why, um, if your mentor, because you look up to him and you spend time with you invested in him. The thing is, it may not, like, if he said that he hate this person, you should hate them too. No, see, I think the reason why I said that, that's how most people operate, right? They would listen to opinion, but it's not grounded in their own research. They haven't take the time to do their own research, and they would say, "Oh, this is like right," and while like you're wrong, and that's how they think. Like most opinions are nothing but other people opinions who has not done any research. While me, who try to at least do his best to create content that not only I spend time doing a lot of research because it takes a lot of effort and time reading the book because nobody read nowadays, right? That's why I read it for you because I think that in order to you to see my world, in order to see how I think and why I choose to think this way instead of my friends or families or what or stuff like that, is because books are a gateway to changing my thoughts and my belief system, because your belief system and ideas are affecting your reality, because most of the time you live with you or you bring your brain with you, you interact with human being, and When you speak, when you interact with another human being, you influence them in a way that changed their life forever, whether you think you know it or not. What they do can have effect. Most what I agree with my brother is people always like say you should let the past be past and you should move on. No, the past is where you make who you are today. That's why I'm so grateful for my past. But sometimes we hold on to the past so much. I know this myself. But the thing is, people don't know what they do that they can hurt other people's feelings. That if they don't remember their past, they don't know what they did. So people always try to move forward. That's the problem with people who is trying to move forward and forget the past. No, the past is made who you are. I remember a great line from Bob Proctor, or he said in his interview, "I like me." People always talk about changing their past, but I wouldn't change my past. The past, every mistake, every not mistake, but every tragedy or every challenge event or chaos that happened in my life made me stronger or make me more wiser, make me grow into a level that I could be able to help uh, people. Now, I got three great books that I start to notice a common theme. Very interesting. I noticed with martial artists, I noticed with alchemy, I noticed was in the Bible. So each and so in this book, Thomas, because we're talking about the Bible mystery and the Bible meaning, connected work of Thomas Troward, right? If you don't know who he is, uh, he have the book on the I can't remember, but he talked about the subconscious mind and the law of attraction. And there's so much meaning to the Bible that people don't understand. The Bible is metaphysical. The Bible is the law of attraction, the subconscious mind. People for who they don't go, because usually people say they go into this religion, but they don't know nothing about their own religion, and they start to say their religion is right while all the other rest is wrong. Because I'm quoting Bob Proctor, because I remember I was watching YouTube. I'm affected more by his content than anybody else, but he in his "You Were Born Rich" summary, he said the same thing, right? It's the same thing why everybody said this is better than this. No, I think that all religion has merit in them. So there's this concept called Bible mystery and Bible meaning, and I would go deep a little bit. I have a actually it's a encyclopedia of the occult. Now, people get scared of the occult because they don't understand. So what does this have to do? Well, I used to believe what most people or the general population or the masses believe is this: there's God and there's heaven and there's hell, right? Or there's God and there's the devil or Satan or Lucifer. Now, I don't believe what the masses believe, because I think that it's just because if you think about that whole life and you're thinking like that and you're trying to live like a good life, but you're not trying to break the rules that the society play in, you're not going to live a fulfilled happy life, right? In order for me to do something great in my life, I have to break certain thought patterns that hold a person back, because sometimes these thoughts patterns are not really helping you, but it's to pull you back. So I noticed a common theme in alchemy. It's dealing with not only the physical, it's dealing with the mental, the spiritual, and the physical together. And so in the Thomas Troward, he also talked about the Bible. Talk about the Bible. It has three levels: the intellectual, the that's the mental, the spiritual, and the physical. Man is all three component. That's what he said. And then I had, so basically I have two books, right? Now, most people get scared of witchcraft and Wicca, but it's not really scary. See, I remember friend would my friend's parents would hate my other friends because he do witchcraft or that people think it's weird. But as I dive deep to witchcraft and Wicca, it's it's basically their I noticed something very uniquely um, in the West. They don't believe that, but in the Eastern world, you have ancient kung fu masters. They believe in chi or energy, or harnessing energy. It's the same thing as the law of attraction. You're harnessing your energy to pull the current or the reality that you want into existence. But the problem with that is most people don't take action. And I notice a certain pattern in the the dynamic prosperity of Catherine Ponder and the Science of Getting Rich. They said you got to take personal action, or you got to take some action once you do all the work inside, and then you got to take the action outside. But so many of the people who stuck in the mindset and who have a fixed mindset and they think that it had to be this certain way, they lose that sense of uh, lose that sense of curiosity. That's why I like Jim Rohn. He said you got to be curious like a child. Um, People aren't curious anymore. People lose that sense of curiosity. And I was talking to my brother. Um, uh, Albert Einstein. Also, most people don't know that Albert Einstein and Leonardo da Vinci and Sir Isaac Newton and Carl Jung, or those people, they were into the occult. They were into this. They were in secret society, and I remember they were talking about how they had the Hermetic philosophy and they were learning about it. But that's not why we're here. There's a common theme running around in the study at come together. Oh, and also I noticed that also the martial arts world, there's not just only the physical, as Chuck Norris say, but it's about the mental and the spiritual aspect of a human being, right? And I noticed that that's the common theme that we're looking for, because I remember Bob Proctor say, um, if a program doesn't teach the spiritual aspect of a human being, they're missing something. And I think that's truly right. I think that I'm trying to connect the dot through reading, because reading gives you depths and it gives you insights that you haven't found before. And it give you that's why I think that most people don't enjoy reading anymore. I do, because I get to share that with you. So let's start with this. This book actually shattered the notion that that the devil is evil. The devil isn't evil. It's only your imagination. Let me explain. People think that the witch worship the devil, right? But that's not true. Watch this. The idea that worship Satan is one of the most misconceptions about witches. This mistaken idea probably developed hundreds of years ago because some Christian leaders encouraged their followers to view non-Christian as anti-Christian. If you weren't a believer in Christ, the embodiment of the good, you must be a believer in his evil opposite, Satan, or the devil. The all-evil Satan is a Christian concept that plays no part in Wicca religion. Witches do not believe that negativity or evil is a organized force. Most of the time, negative beings act simply out of self-interest to affect their own personal gain. Therefore, they're more like independent contractor. Nor do Wiccans believe there's a place hell where the damned or the evil lavish and suffer. And as we said earlier, witches do not try to gain power through suffering or misfortune of others. So that's what said. This is how this book destroyed my belief about hell and heaven. You create your own heaven or hell, depending on how you use your brain. Now, I'm going to read Thomas Troward for the Bible, if I can find it. The word devil means false accuser or false affirmer, affirmation or not affirmation but affirmer. And this name is therefore in itself sufficient to show us that what it means is the creative power of affirmation used in the wrong direction. A truth which has been handed down to us from old time in saying diabolus or this or introversus, the devil is God inverted. This is how it's that the devil can be a vast impersonal power while at the same time having no existence. So the paradox with was we start is solved, and now it becomes clear why we are told that the devil is the power to of death. It is not held by a personal individual, but results are quite natural from the ignorant and inverted thought, which is the spirit that denies. Again, we're told that the devil is Satan. This name appeared to be another form of Saturn, and may also be connected with the root Set or seven. Saturn being the oldest symbolical astronomy, the outermost or seventh planet in that system, the center is occupied the soul or the sun, which represent the life-giving principle, and Saturn represent the opposite extreme or matter at the point farther removed from pure spirit. Now, taking due order, matter of concrete form is necessary as spirit itself, for without it there could be no manifestation of spirit. In other words, there could be no existence at all. Seen from this point of view, there is nothing evil in it, but on the contrary, it may be compared to lamp which concentrate the light and give it a particular direction in this respect matter. It's called Lucifer or the light barrier. This see most people have this conception about Lucifer as a light bearer. This matter taking its proper place in order of the kingdom of heaven. But if Lucifer falls from heaven, become rebellious, and endeavors to usurp the place of soul, then is the fallen angels and becomes Satan. But the outermost planet which move in the orbit, whose remoteness from the warmth and light of sun renders of all human life and joy impossible, and symbolism which retain in our most speech when we say that the man has certain aspect. So yeah, it's neither good or bad, but people make it so. So Lucifer just means light barrier. And I found it kind of interesting that people are afraid these words, and because of how they grow up, most people who are waiting for the good life, you know, usually religious people, and they're waiting for heaven. But why don't they create amazing life right now? Because that's all you have. Why wait? You know, so many of the spiritual people I see using the law of attraction wrong. They're waiting for something to happen. Most people forget that the negative time or the hard time, the hardship, they're there. They're there to find something. You're there to see something that you haven't seen before. But sometimes people are ignorant to see it and they don't want to change. Most of the time, I see a lot. People don't like change. People, whenever they stick to one thing and they believe it, they don't like change because they don't like the idea that, oh, it's not congruent to their belief system or congruent to the way they see the world. And what they don't realize is this: the understanding. If see, here's the thing why I like reading so much, because it gives you connections. It give you the ability to see so why I like alchemy, why I like Egypt, because it's ancient. It's history. I remember Ty Lopez was talking about nobody like history anymore. But I realized I find it. I used to, I used to hate. Yeah, sorry. I used to hate history, right? But I realized history is fascinating. I like it when I interview people where they come from and how they start and how their mind think. I want to interview people because I wanted to become more understanding of people's perspective, to take time to see their world or their model of reality or how it shaped them or how they came to be that person. Because your past See, most people say, "Oh, I would forget the past," but the past influence your judgment today, and your judgment today influence the future, right? Your past is powerful, right? Your past are so powerful that it's in your subconscious and it move you in actions to create your world around or your destiny. They call it. I don't believe in destiny, but you know. Now here's the thing. Show me the devil. This is the Hinduism book. I love Hinduism actually. It's pretty cool. I highly recommend you read this. All right, so I'm gonna read. You may have noticed that in all this talk about divine and unity and everything being one, I haven't mentioned a word about the devil. What does evil fit into this? The big picture. First, there's no Satan in Hinduism, at least not in the Christian sense of a malevolent being so powerful he's almost rival God. Hindus do believe in evil spirits and have a various method for exorcising them, but an ultimate evil being like Satan, who's capable of giving God a run for his money, cannot possibly exist. In the Hindu worldview, God has no rival. Second, Hindu cannot conceive of hell in Christian sense either. A place from which God has withdrawn his grace. To Hindu, God is omnipresent, literally. How can there be any place in dimension of any world where God isn't present? Hell world do exist in Hindu cosmology, but they are more like purgatory of the Catholic. They're a temporary state in which this is. So we have this illusion and belief so long that we held that this evil, it's the devil, it's here, but it's light. Lucifer is light, right? We have good and bad ones, right? We have light and dark, the yin and the yang. But we're so afraid of who we were or who we are. We don't show the world who we are. But sometimes I feel like we make so there is evil in this world, right? There is evil in this world. So let me explain. What I just told you about the devil and Satan in the world around us. There's evil in this world. Why is there evil? Well, some would be because their thought patterns was like that way when they were little. Somebody had put planned a virus in their mind, and when they grow older, they would execute that plan, right? And so I think that child belief system is very malleable when they were a kid, but it become a bondage. It become a change which people think about the world. As they grow older, they would not be able to change their thought patterns because I rarely, hardly see any adults would change their mind if they stick to this one thing or the law of attraction is end all be all. But it's not. Yes, we are a powerful human being with the vibrational frequency that's coming out and the subconscious, da di da di da, but we don't get to the root of the problem. And so many people focus on the good, but people like in the law of attraction, you always hear about the good things. But how can you turn a blind eye to bad things happening in the world? And it's like it's not about like, oh, because people are attracted. No. It's about you being a person who stand up for a cause that inspire people to think in a different way. In order, because I read a great book, and it's not about fitting into the law of attraction model, because I am scared. Because basically, law of attraction is very mainstream, and it's there, it's in your face, and everybody know about law of attraction. But I don't see people are. I mean, I do see a couple of video are coming out now with taking action, but they're not. They're people who are brave enough, like me, to bash to what I call the shattered glass, the illusion that we have for so long. Because I observe and I hear. Because when people complain, it's the greatest opportunity for you to solve the problem or pain point, or to be able to listen to them and say, But the thing is, most people don't want to listen because they think is this way, but it isn't. There's so many different perspectives of life that I. That's why I enjoy listening to many different perspectives of people, because I think that they have something to offer to you and I and to the world and their gifts. So that's why I think that I'm doing a disservice if I don't tell like how it is, because if I tell you, because basically if I tell you all the thoughts are energy, all thoughts are wave, thoughts are creative thoughts, but if I don't tell you the underneath of it all, then you will not find out. I would I would like that wouldn't help you to grow. That wouldn't help you to be bold or brave to endeavor a life that's meaningful to you. Like, for instance, if you like your job, you can do your job, right? You can live your life that way. You don't have to like listen to say, quit your job. But if you hate your job and that's sucking your soul out of it, and you're creative and you're trying to find an outlet, then try to find something to create. Trying to find something that's meaningful you to create and get your work out there. So many people are fixated on one thing, right? But they don't view a variety of way of doing things. So subscribe to my channel, like my video, because I do book reviews, personal development, I love attraction. Sometimes I do book review that's not really personal development. Well, it is, but it's something that could help people. And I do interviews, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.